Here's one here from Senator Patty Murray. Just another totally unhinged official public statement from a president who is desperate to appeal to foreign dictators and silence Americans, but he doesn't dictate how we run our elections. Washington state votes by mail in every election. We'll keep it that way. Thanks. Isn't the United States the only country in the world, or at least, yeah, certainly in the world? I was going to say the only one in the West, but if we're the only one in the West that doesn't, or that does mail-in voting, then, I mean, certainly third world countries, they're going to do in-person voting. They're not going to do voting by mail. I think we are the only country that allows this, if I'm not mistaken. So I think there were actually a couple of pretty good comments in here. I don't know if I left one or not. No, I don't think so. Washington didn't always vote by mail. This changed in 2011. Recent history. I used to live there. Getting an absentee ballot was a pain. It was a close thing, too. State legislator votes House 51-4, 43 against, and the Senate 26-4, 23 against. So it was close. And he's got the receipt to back it up right there. Oh, curious to know how bloober Washington got post-2011. I was wondering about that, too. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because if they put in mail-in voting, they could have rigged the system and counted a whole lot more ballots than there otherwise would have been if it was all in-person voting. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this. Look at this shit. Washington Democrats slash Medicaid by $782 million, and they shift the blame to Trump and the Republicans. Cut more than $750 million from Medicaid in the latest state budget, even as they blamed Washington, D.C. Republicans for it. I don't know if they actually linked it. I want to say that I came across, because I think I actually read an article about this. No, he didn't put it in here. Maybe somebody else mentioned it down here, but many countries restrict or ban mail-in voting for in-country voters due to concerns about fraud or logistical challenges. Absolutely. No mail. France, Japan, Brazil, Ecuador. The following countries restrict or prohibit mail-in voting for domestic voters: Mexico, Belgium, Italy, Sweden, Ukraine. No Middle Eastern country permits in-country mail-in voting. It's stupid. It makes no sense, man. How many precincts do we have? How many different precincts do we have across the country? What, 30,000, 50,000? It's definitely in the tens of thousands. I think just in my county alone, there's like 500 different places you can go vote. And all of them are practically a walking distance. It's probably like 20 minutes worth of walking to any given precinct in any given city. So yeah, there is absolutely no excuse to be mailing in your ballot. Not even during COVID. It was ridiculous. And maybe that's the reason why they did drop the COVID bomb. Maybe that would explain, if it were true, the Democrats colluding with the CCP to drop the COVID bomb on the world, because maybe it was all in an effort to stop Trump. I think maybe they would be that capable. Their psychopathy against President Trump, their Trump derangement syndrome, I think would have made them capable of doing that. They had the tools. They had the Wuhan research facility that the NIH was funding. Anthony Fauci apparently was funding it, or helping to fund it. Sounds like there were some people that were pretty close to it over here on the American side with regard to funding it. So, all I'm saying, you never know. I'm not saying they did. I'm just saying that, it's just an opinion that it's possible. Yeah, voter ID, paper ballots, proof of citizenship, in-person, no mass mail-in, absentee for military, disabled, and verified inability to be at a polling place, smaller precincts, national holiday, results by 9 p.m., winners announced by midnight. That's all you need. And the system has worked for decades and decades, probably centuries at this point. And there's no excuse, because they want to open up the door, the possibility to gaming that system, to cheating in that system. All right, so this one's from Senator Chris Van Hollen. Trump taking election security advice from Putin says it all. Oh, he's taking election security advice from Putin. How exactly do you know that? You weren't in the room when he was talking to Putin. You're not on the phone call when he's talking to Putin. How the fuck do you know that they're even talking about election security in the first place? Vote by mail is safe, secure, and reliable. Trump knows it. He just wants to undermine our elections, and Putin is all too happy to help. Shameful. I'm sure that's probably a lot of comment roasting down in here too. Democrats have to cheat to win. It's, oh, what? I want to view it. I don't know why I muted them. Wall Street apes. I don't know. Democrats steal elections. Democrat ham-tramped Michigan Councilman Abu Musa caught stuffing a drop box with huge amounts of mail-in ballots. It's time to ban mail-in ballots in America. You want to check this out? You want to see?
New video obtained by Local 4 shows two men in a black car days before the August primary. A passenger starts handing ballots to an unidentified driver, who then stuffs them into the city's drop box, in total dumping 3 large stacks before driving away. Sources tell Local
Isn't that
4
illegal?
The passenger appears to be current council member Abu Musa,
Whoa,
the same council member that is currently seeking re-election and rose to the top with more than 1,100 votes
Oh
in last
my
week's
God.
primary. He's
Yep,
also the
he
council
cheated.
member accused of not living in Hamtramck and the council member named in the 2023 election fraud case. However,
And that's what they're going to focus on. Well, he doesn't really live in the district. No, dude, you should be focusing directly on that. You should absolutely be focusing on that. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason why mail-in ballots should not be a thing. Because it doesn't pertain exclusively to the presidential election. It affects local elections too. Especially when you're talking numbers like that. Only 1,000. That's it. He won the election by getting just 1,000 votes. Because local elections, not many people vote in local elections. So it really wouldn't take much to game that system and win your election if you had some sort of a decent ground game. Which Democrats are pretty effective at doing that, organizing these ground games. There were these organizations, I think in some states you're allowed to collect ballots from other people, ballot harvesting. I want to say there are a few states, probably most Democrat states, frankly, that allow for that. But there's organizations that were paying people $20, $30 per ballot that they collected, which has got to be illegal. Has to be. Like if some foundation were to dump, let's say $30 million into that initiative and offered anybody who wanted to join the quote-unquote fight, we'll pay you $30 for every ballot that you collect. They could collect 1 million ballots, literally 1 million ballots with a $30 million donation or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't know, man. It's not good. It's not good at all. Because the Democrats at this point, they have to cheat. It's the only way they can win, because they can't win on their policies, because they have no common sense policies for sure. And anything that makes any resemblance of any kind of sense whatsoever, they don't give any solutions to them. They just talk about, well, we need this and we need that, and we're supposed to be doing this, and it's about time we get this done. But they never explain, I have a 12-point plan, the end. Okay, well, what's point number 1? No, I got 12 points. All right, that's it. Next question. So anyway, wrong communist. Putin isn't yours, forgot. Putin isn't yours, forgot. You're kissing this one. All right. Just like the Russian hoax, or pardon, January 6th, you lie. Absolutely. Democrats caught reading the same scripts, so they've been replaced with parrots that do it for free. Free! David Smith, saving Maryland dads. All right. I don't understand that one. No, this says it all. Every single Democrat voted against no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security. Remember that at the midterms. Literally everything that Trump stands for, they're 100% against. Even though I bet if you ask just your everyday, on the ground, going to work, 9 to 5, middle-class Democrat, if you ask them, do you support no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security? I bet you at least 90% of them would say yes. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. So we did that one. Senator Dick Durbin, who is the whip, he's the majority whip in the Senate. The Senate majority whip. I think that's what they call him, right? Democratic whip and ranking member of the Senate. That's probably what they're actually calling the ranking member of the Senate. So yeah, this dude is like one of the highest up Democrats in the party. So his name pops up in the news sometimes. But this dude, he's just as insane and brain dead as all the others. The bottom line, President Trump wants to silence the American people by making it more difficult for Americans to vote. Calling to get rid of mail-in ballots is an attack on our fundamental right to vote. I'll continue fighting to protect our democracy. And every time they say democracy, take a shot. You will be dead from alcohol poisoning inside an hour. Especially if they're up on a soapbox giving one of their long-winded, ridiculous, we're going to do nothing but talk about a lot of shit speeches. So he was responding to the New York Times. Breaking news, President Trump said he would lead a movement to eliminate mail-in ballots and that he wanted to get rid of voting machines. Trump has long opposed mail-in voting, though Republicans made electoral gains in 2024 by embracing the practice. But look, it's all feelings-based. They don't really have any good reason as to why they want to keep mail-in ballots. Other than what? People are lazy? I mean, there's no real good argument for it. Well, people have to go to work. Okay, they keep precincts open till 7. And if you really want to vote, I don't know if it's actually written in the law or not, but every year at my workplace, they always tell us the day before. Well, actually, they probably actually tell us like 2 weeks before. But we get like 2 floating holidays a year. They encourage us to take one of those floating holidays if we want to go vote. And they're also really lenient. If you have to take an extra hour for lunch, or if you need to take a few hours, if it's a long line or whatever, just give us a call. Call the workplace, let us know if you're in line and it's a long line. If you're going to vote, we don't care. You can make up your time. There's a lot of workplaces that will be very accommodating to you if you have to go vote on election day. So, yeah, anyway, let's go on to the next one. Senator Amy Klobuchar. This ought to be a good one, too. Mail-in voting is safe and secure, which is why President Trump and Republicans in Congress have repeatedly endorsed it. Elections are run by the states, not the president. We will stand up to any attempt to undermine our democracy. Again with the democracy.